lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
The third and final week of the PRL International Tour is upon us, and before we go back to the States, we must make a stop at a historic course, one you might recognize. This course you might recognize from watching series like the WEC or maybe Formula One and at one point NASCAR. Tonight, it's the Patriot Fire Cup Series at the historic Suzuka, round 18 for the season and round 6 of the summer season. And welcome to the Suzuka Thunder 200. Now, Brian Yazek, last week's winner in a dramatic finish at Motegi, has all the momentum. He enjoys road course racing. Can he score a win tonight on the road course? Or how about the road course ace, Josh Grupa, if he shows up tonight? Throwing that in there because as of right now, he's not. But he dominated the road course at Monza. Can he prove to be king of the road? We will find out here on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing channel. Good evening. I'm Chris Scala. Sean Ambrose, well, he's usually by my side. Tonight he's, well, to my right and a little ways up on the Ferris wheel. Literally, he is on top of the Ferris wheel here at Suzuka. But Amjad Yamin is always calling the shots, and Dougie Beard giving us great shots on the cameras. Now, Sean, way up there, you get a pretty good view tonight. It's almost like a blimp where you are, but the historic circuit here at Suzuka, we're not doing the whole thing. We're just doing the East Circuit, basically, which is the old NASCAR circuit, which you see right there on the screen, where they go through 8 and 9 to come right back through the front stretch instead of heading out through the rest of this circuit. But tell us about this road course.
Chris, you know, since the track's opening in 1962, this beautiful 1.394 mile circuit has seen a lot of action. The whole track in general. This is the brainchild of Dutch track designer John Hugenholtz, as well as car and motorcycle manufacturer Soichiro Honda has hosted multiple events and series in its history, from the Japanese Grand Prix and Formula One to the World Touring Car Championship. You know, yes, they did play host to some NASCAR races here back in the 1990s. Yes, the 1990s. Now, while the track layout has changed over the years, most recently 130R, which we won't be racing on in the early 2000s for safety reasons, the racing has always been exciting to watch here at Suzuka. It's also a decent place for any beginner drivers to get themselves acquainted with the cars. So the Cup car being a challenge here, going to be a little tough to get acquainted with, but now to help you navigate this 7-turn circuit this evening, here is our GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Amjad Yamin in the GSRC Chevy SS, so let's do a lap around Suzuka. Coming down to turn 1, this is easily your best and only chance for a pass around the lap. But remember, there's 2 corners, although you essentially take them as a hairpin with a double apex. Swing out after the kink and then try to get the car to rotate for turn 2. There's not much time before the S's, so get the car across to the right. It's going to be mostly single file all the way through here. The line is absolutely critical too, so expect anyone to pounce as soon as someone makes a mistake. Ideally, you'll try to set the car up off the corners for a better entry down to the following apex. There'll be a lot of throttle modulation. Eventually, when you reach the last left-hander, the track cuts away from the main course with a tricky off-camber entry to the right. Be patient around this long sweeping bend and focus on being able to straighten out the exit for the best run possible onto the main straight. Hesitate on the gas and you'll be vulnerable on the run down to turn 1. Hopefully you kept it together and have now finished a lap around Suzuka.
And that is a lap around Suzuka. Quite a trip around. Do we have an interview tonight, Chris? I don't think we have a trip. We do?
Yeah, we got Thomas George with me.
We do have Thomas George. I'm sorry. There he is. Thomas George this evening there. And Chris, I'm sorry for just totally blowing that.
I'll blame the guy who put this whole thingy together. Anyways, we move on. But Thomas George joining us tonight. Tom, obviously you come off of Motegi, where some interesting racing there at the end. Of course, you come out there, you're still second in points, just a little bit there behind Brian Yazik. But talk about tonight, talk about that momentum you're trying to keep going here, because you've got a shot to win this summer championship.
Just like any other points racing, you just got to stay out of trouble, make the bad days as good as you can, capitalize on the days where your cars are really good, and just like anything else, track position is always a big factor, just like last week and the week before. It's just stay out of trouble, get the best finish you can.
Now tonight, you're running this E circuit, which has pretty much 2 right-hand corners, and then you're going through a bunch of curves leading back to the front straightaway. It looks like there's only one passing zone, which would be going down to turn 1 off the long front straightaway. How do you set yourself up to make passes?
Yeah, that's why I'm not looking forward to tonight, honestly. But the best way to think about it, you got to think about it like Sonoma, a very technical track. Got to get through the S's the way you need to keep the momentum. There's a possibility you might be able to make a pass off the last corner if you get it right, but the guy in front of you is going to have to make a mistake, and then you can get him down the straightaway. But otherwise, I think it's just going to be a lot of, you're going to have to make the hole yourself, or you just got to get lucky. Because I don't think there's going to be a ton of passing tonight unless there's a lot of dive bombs or a lot of over aggressive moves, but we'll see. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Is there a certain part of the track that you've kind of struggled at, and a certain part you feel good at running?
I suck at all of it.
So pit road.
Yeah, pretty much. Just throw me some water. I'm here to try and get as many points as I can. I don't like technical road courses. I'm not the best technical driver. I can manage my own, but I like racing at Watkins Glen and tracks like that are high speed, that have a couple different passing zones, and it's I guess road racing in general is very rhythm based, but for me, Watkins Glen is a better track suited to my skills than say this or Sonoma or the more technical tracks across the world in road racing. But I don't make the schedule. We just gotta do what we can.
Absolutely, Thomas. Well, we appreciate you bringing the Pepsis up here to us, as always. The new Pepsi Fire drinks. I got to try these. But anyways, go out there and have a good time tonight in that 24 car. And the one thing I always tell friends of mine when we're on road courses, you keep it on the pavement, you're going to get a good finish.
10-4, enjoy that Pepsi Fire. Hopefully I didn't put anything in it by accident.
Oh, no. I think I gave Sean that one. Anyways, all right. Appreciate your time, Thomas. And Thomas George there, the driver of the number 24, second in points going into tonight's race, and that's in the summer standings, which we'll review here very shortly. But Sean, tonight, a 201-kilometer race. I did the math on this one, 125 miles in 90 laps. Halfway point is lap 45. That's where drivers will, from 1 through 10, will get bonus points from 10 down to 1. There's also going to be a caution thrown randomly between lap 30 and lap 60. And unlike Monza, I won't be on track trying to predict when it'll happen. So I'm just going to take a guess. But anyways, we're halfway in that summer series, the 12-race schedule here. Sean, how are we looking points-wise?
Well, let's take a look. And at the top, well, that's where the party's at. Let's face it. Top of the points now, Brian Yazik. There he sits, certainly a favorite here tonight on the road course. He is a solid road course racer. Thomas George, 22 points behind, and you know what? Thomas not too bad himself. Tim Johnson only 5 points back there in third. Nick Cohan, Josh Skrupa, Tommy Ryan, Ricky Harden. Pay attention to those two tonight. They're both solid on technical road courses. They could see a big jump in the points this evening. James Skrahula, watch him too. Tyler Dalton and Jeff Ford. Now, James Skrahula got around Sonoma in an IndyCar last night and got himself a nice podium finish. I wonder if there is another podium finish in store for him tonight in the Cup car at Suzuka. let's look at the season standings here real quick. Brian Yazik, of course, in the lead. Now, Nick Cohan, second here, 32 points behind Tommy Ryan, another 30 points back there in third. Thomas George in fourth. Drew Carroll, fifth. Tyler Dalton, sixth. Josh Garupa tied with him. Then back to 93 points back. That's Ricky Harden, Tim Johnston, and James Krahula still in the top 10 there, 109 points back. Long season to go, though. Chris, anything can happen, buddy.
It sure can. So we're looking forward to seeing the racing tonight. Going to be tricky there around this 9-turn Suzuka track. There's qualifying going on right now. So here in a couple of seconds, we'll get some lap times, and we'll crown ourselves an MP3 Designs Full Award winner. Now, some news updates from the league. Derek Paulson making his debut with his Mad Dog Motorsports team. As you know, last week he was in the number 20 for Captain Motorsports. He now switches back over to his Mad Dog Motorsports team. He'll be in the number 5 tonight, so we'll be watching him, and new driver Devin Serra will now take over the 20 car for the rest of the season. Also, updates from earlier this week: the American Pool Supply Truck Series and the Sim Racing app Grand National Series was at New Smyrna Speedway this past week, and consistency paid off. Jeff Ward took the win in both races, so he's looking for the sweep tonight. He was looking pretty good in practice, so can the 89, the Jack Links Beef Jerky Chevrolet there, can he pull out the win in all 3 series, not to mention in 2 different parts of the world? That would be pretty interesting, Sean. So cars are on the track, though, and got some keys for tonight we'll talk about real quickly. You might remember Larry David, the guy that helped create the show Seinfeld. He also is the help putting in creating Curving Your Enthusiasm. I bring this up because of the curves. Pretty much turn 3 through 9 is all curves. And it's even called that on the track. We want to stay off those things.
Yeah, call it the snake, call it the anti-bank curve, call it whatever you want. It's a lot of curves. We talked about this in the pre-race, Chris. You're constantly turning a wheel. You're working the wheel. Boy, you got to get through here gingerly. Slightest mistake, runoff, of course, going to cost you, points, off-course points. The worst part is once that Cup car starts to slide, it's a really, really hard thing to slow down. As these guys are out here qualifying right now, I can tell you, after just doing some laps here, Chris, getting through the S's is an adventure in momentum. You don't want to get too much power down. In fact, you almost want to get a lot of power down early in your entry and let the car kind of coast through those things. It's very, very tricky, and it's going to be fun on these opening laps. We've got about 23 cars all jockeying for position.
Yeah, it's going to be very tight because you're pretty much second gear all the way through those curves, all the way down to turn 9. Timing to caution. I made the joke a few minutes ago. I was in that Monza race just a couple weeks ago, and somebody said in chat I got lucky timing that out. And basically all I did, and this is probably what the racers are doing in their minds, they're picking a lap and saying, all right, this point I'm coming to pit road. And I'm just going to throw this out here. If I'm racing tonight, I'm pitting at lap 30. That's just how I race, because I know after that, the caution's coming sometime. Do you see that same thing potentially happen tonight, Sean?
I do. I think the potential is absolutely great for that. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. I mean, I think it's going to be a mixed bag with 23 cars here. I think we'll see a little bit of kind of follow the leader, depending on how far away the leader is. You know what I mean? I think position on track going to be very, very important. Doesn't take long to get around this circuit, Chris. It's going to be a challenge to stay on the lead lap with the fast guys, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned the pit road speed's 37 miles an hour. It's a very long pit road here. Lap time's only 49 to 50 seconds. Right now, our pole lap of 49.2. You might go a lap down here pitting.
Yeah, indeed, and that's why I think we might run into, kind of a follow the leader type deal. If you know he's coming in, you might want to run in with him. It might be hard. I just think there's going to be a lot of traffic on the track. You know what I mean? I think they're going to be scattered pretty well. And man, if you get off cycle with the guy you're chasing, boy, it might be hard to catch him coming back out. You might have to fight through some traffic to get to him. Again, it might be a little bit of monkey see, monkey do tonight.
Well, my last key was something that would be interesting in this race, but I just heard rumors that Josh Krupa's car has already been on a plane heading back to America. So apparently Scroop is not here tonight. So I was going to use continuing his domination on road courses, but that's not happening yet apparently. So we'll have to see what happens there. So we'll keep with the 2 keys that we have here. And Sean, you said earlier the Woodshed video on the Premier Racing League Facebook page, you said, I'm not making a pick until the race itself. Here we are. We're just commencing the race.
Yeah, I was dodging it. I really was. I think James Grahul is hot right now. Again, what he did last night with an IndyCar is totally different than what he's got to do here in a Cup car tonight. But I think he's just feeling the whole road course thing right now, And I think James, if he can stay out of trouble, I think this might be his night.
All right, James Grahul is his pick as we have about 3.5 minutes to go. I think we can go ahead and get the pole lap here. The NP3 Designs Pole Award winner. How about this one? Tommy Ryan going to start on the pole, a 49.276 lap. Let's watch him here as he comes off turn 9 downhill. Very long straightaway, Sean, here. You're almost hitting, 180 mile an hour all the way down to turn 1 here.
Yeah, you're wrapping it out pretty well, but you've got to get on the binders hard here and get the car slowed down. And then you got to shift, because right here, your second gear, getting back through the last curve.
Yeah,
first turn.
Yeah, I was going to say double apex there, too, in turn 1 and 2. You got to go in and come back out a little bit and draft back in, but here you're pretty much just curves the whole time. Turn 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to turn 9. Left, right, left, right, left. And this is where it's all about consistency. You see Sean up there in the wheel waving. And then down here in the turn 9 section, you're back downhill, and that's a quick lap. That's a 49.2.
Sorry there, folks. My voice is recovered. I had a moment there, but I'm good. As race control is giving their instructions here to the drivers. And Chris, the time's pretty impressive. I think we have seen, though, better times in practice. I think this is a track where you got to get a little bit of rhythm going, and I think we're going to see that tonight. I think the best drive will probably be, for most of these guys, will probably be towards the end of the race, like that last third of the race when you finally settled in and you think you've got it all figured out. So,
yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. But first, we did it last week, and we're going to do it again tonight. We're in Japan, so we feel it's only right that we play the Japanese national anthem. And back at Suzuka as we get ready to go green here very shortly. We're going to get the cars all gridded up here. Appreciate all the viewers who are in chat tonight. I've been looking at some of the chat, some of the things people have been saying. Of course, Scott Eckrich, who is the main admin tonight, he did win the first road course race this year at Sonoma. That was back in the spring seasons when he won that race. But definitely appreciate all the viewers watching tonight here on the Global Sim Racing channel, also over in iRacing Live, as we're here to watch some Gen 6 cars roll around Suzuka here. But the cars are going to grid. And Sean, let's take a look at this starting lineup for the race. The NP3 Design Pole Award winner again, Tommy Ryan, with a 49.276 second lap there. And you mentioned this guy here, the guy starting second, James Grahul.
Not a bad qualifying effort, not a bad place to be, indeed. Row 2 going to be Jeff Ward and Rhett McBride.
Ryan Yazik, he'll start alongside Tim Johnson. Another good qualifying run for him.
And row 4, Woodrow Mahan and Devin Serra.
Yeah, Serra making his debut tonight. Brett Pancari going to start 9th inside of Ricky Harden, who has got a pretty interesting paint scheme.
He does. We'll look at that in a minute. Thanks, Ricky. Nick Cohan going to start 11th tonight, and Gerald Livingston 12th.
Sergeant Pepper's Paul, that is, going to start inside row number 7 alongside Thomas George.
Tyler Dalton and Josh King are going to start together on row 8. Watch
Now,
out.
I'm going to throw the drama out there real quickly before we get to the next row. They always say in racing, when there's drama, they will start next to each other. Last week in Motegi, it was Thomas George versus Tyler Dalton. Look at 14th and 15th. Anyways, Josh King, he'll start outside of Tyler Dalton there in row number 8.
Okay, row 9 going to be Derek Paulson, Jonathan Lawrence.
Calvin Filarski, he'll start inside of row number 10, his last one to qualify. Stephen Herring going to start there in 20th.
Okay, I'll take the rest here. Rick Thompson going to start 21st tonight. John Wilco 22nd. Or no, I'm sorry, Rick Thompson 22nd. John Wilco going to start 23rd.
Should be a pretty fun race here as we get the Porsche pace car tonight. So they've gone international here a little bit with the pace car. But should be pretty cool. Cars will roll off here very shortly. Sean, what are your expectations? You're one who likes the road racing. It's going to be all technical tonight. You don't want to put 4 off or even 2 off maybe. But what's going to be the key to getting a victory lane?
Oof. I think the key here is going to be to keeping the car on the track. I'm going to be really, really honest. There's a lot of opportunity to get off track here and get off in the dirt. And, boy, all that's going to do is slow you down. I think staying with the leaders is going to be so important. Like I said, not going to take long for them to get scattered out and traffic start catching at each other. Being on the lead lap, I think it's going to be a premium to staying in this race.
Now, the grid tonight, just looking over here at some of the times, the top 13 separated by less than a second. So these times are going to be very tight. I think you're going to see a lot of nose-to-tail racing here, and with some bumping and banging and maybe some impatient drivers at times, this really could get interesting here within the next, especially these first couple laps. Now, remember Monza, a couple weeks ago, we had cautions for the first, I think it was about 6 or 7 laps of the race. And hopefully we won't have that same situation tonight.
Yeah, I hope so. Hey, I do want to give a quick shout out to Ricky Harden. If you were watching the Lionheart IndyCar Series last night, Dan Guerin from there had put on his wing to keep it up, Sean Ambrose. I am now celebrating my 3rd week without cigarettes. And Ricky, thanks for thinking of me, man. I appreciate the support. Chris, it's about time to cut them loose.
10-4, buddy. We're going to get ready to go here. And Sean, I congratulate you also, buddy, and hope you continue success there, buddy. Anyways, going to come down turn 9, a downhill right-hand corner here. Pace car pulls off, and Tommy Ryan's going to be on the right side. James Kroll to the left. They pull off, and they go, and here we go. It's time to boogie, Sean.
It's time to boogie, baby. Boy, they're scrambling down into turn 1. Look at them go.
Woo, just spreading out like they're a Pocono here all of a sudden here. Down the front straightaway to turn 1 and double apex right. 3 wide to turn 1. Oh, cooler heads prevail. Krahula, black flag. What happened there?
Oh, I think he jumped it.
Oh, my. Man, everybody going through the S's here at the curves.
Yeah, speaking of jumping it, back here, the 29, Paul Pepper digging hard. Just got past Gerald Livingston, trying to get past Nick Cohan. Getting through the final curve here.
Everybody okay so far. Tyler Dalton falling back a few spots, but Tommy Ryan, he's going to lead lap 1 as James Krahula comes to pit road. Start on the outside pole. Yikes.
Oh, working on lap 2. We got one in the books there, Chris.
Garrett McBride slides up the track. Yazik trying to get that third. Ooh, he gets snappy loose. A lot of rear braking at double 5.
He's still trying to get a little bit of heat in these tires, Chris, and not enough rubber laid down yet, but they're getting there. That actually the practice session helped, so did qualifying, but here we go. Everybody line astern now.
And you see the single file line of cars here. This is where it gets tricky because you come through this right-hander here, turn 9, and this is where if you get loose or you push off the corner, you could easily lose 1, 2, 3 spots. It's all momentum here.
Boy,
looks like cars trying to break the draft down the front stretch. You're snaking it.
Chris, Krahula really in trouble here. I mean, he's still, he's a lap down already, and the field is coming around. They He will. He's not. I'm sorry, my bad. He's not a letdown yet. But where I was going with that is they are gaining on him very, very quickly. Just now, getting through the last curve here, turn 9, making his way across our finish line.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan coming through the turn 9 section right now. So Krahula's got about the whole straightaway up on these guys. But what Krahula needs to do is just get into a rhythm. If he can get into a rhythm and just run laps, he should be able to stay ahead of these the Tommy Ryan car, because he's shown he's got the speed for the most part here. Everybody single file, the first battle on the track here. Maybe some teammates here. Brett Pancari, Devin Serra. I see the 15 of Ricky Harden in here too. These guys here at the 7th, 8th, 9th positions. It's Calvin Flarsky's having some blinking issues here, and I see Rick Thompson with some nose damage here on that 76.
Boy, and Jonathan Lawrence actually had trouble too, Chris. Looked like it was coming out of turn 9. That car around and nosed into the wall really, really hard. A lot of front-end damage on his car.
Oh, so he laid the smackdown on the wall.
I believe he did.
That's never good, but here's the replay of the 66. Got roll on one side, smackdown on the other. Oh, lose. Oh, wow. That's what I was talking about earlier about getting loose through that corner. It's very easy to do if you get on that gas too much. It's a downhill right-hand corner. I mean, it's pretty steep when you get in the car and do it. Hey, you got a battle here for position. Oh, I thought Woodrow was going to give it up here. That 12 of Woodrow Mahan. And Brett Pancari's all over him. I think you could say road course is kind of like a short track, Sean. When, you know, they say on short track, when you got a line, you're kind of holding everybody up.
Yeah, a lot of shuffling going on right now. Devin Serra with his teammate Brett Pancari right in front of him. Those two working together as hard as they can.
Oh, Ricky Harden gets turned by Nick Cohen. Something tells me Ricky thinks that's unacceptable.
Yeah, and it was in the final curve here, and boy, he gets together with Nick Cohen.
Oh yeah, I think Nick just kind of, you can't really tell an angle if he pushed up or if Ricky shut the door on him there, but Ricky's going to fall all the way back to the 17th position now.
Yeah, he gets gobbled up there. Had to wait a long time to let the traffic by, Chris, and that really, really...
oh, there it is.
There's
the answer right there. Nick thought he had space there. I think he's apologizing because Ricky said no worries, so... Anyhow, back to where we were. Everybody's still running lap times here. A couple cars on pit road. Calvin Filarski and the 66 on pit road. Those two unscheduled pit stops there as far as I know. But we're already completing lap 7 here.
Boy, Woodrow Mahan really doing a good job of hanging on to 6th place, man. Pancari, Serra don't have anything for him yet. Woodrow digging. Got that Ford American sponsored number 12 there, going around the track pretty well right now.
And Woodrow's had his struggles. He was in that first caution at Monza and really didn't get a chance to run that race much. And tonight he's already made it to lap 7, which is some progress there as you look from the door. So, Sean, I got to ask here, as we got a battle up here. Yazik underneath Brett McBride going to turn 1. Yazik should have the line, and Brett's going to let him go. Yazik showing that road course speed that he always has.
Yeah. Yazik up to that podium spot now. Boy, he really got a nice run down into there. Car looks good. Yazik right now looks to be on point here. Jeff Ward only about a second and a half up in front of him.
And Ward is starting to kind of edge in on Tommy Ryan. Last time by, they were right on top of each other time-wise. 51 through 7.3 to a 187. But, Sean, I was going to ask you real quickly, obviously you're a lot higher elevation-wise than I am right now. How is the weather, the wind up there? Any kind of things you're noticing up there?
You know, it's partly cloudy, Chris. It's about 78 degrees. Track temperature, I think, is about 87. Not really windy. It's only about 2 miles an hour. It's a beautiful day here at Suzuka.
Well, and of course, you're up in the Ferris wheel enjoying yourselves. You see Tim Johnson is making a pass on Brett McBride for the 4th position, that is. So that USAA Ford Fusion looking pretty good. Sean, was able to get the waiver signed for them to stop the Ferris wheel for a couple hours and just hang out at the top.
Not a bad view, sir. It shows. I keep looking down. I keep watching the number 6 of Tommy Ryan getting around this track. He's strong today. Got off to a good start. James jumped it, and that's a bad on him. I have a feeling, though, there may be some strategy play that this can work out for James Grola. We'll see. But Tommy Ryan is the man so far. The Carolina driver off to a great start here now, 10 laps into this 90-lap race.
Yeah, Tommy looking really good. Him and Jeff Ward have kind of stretched the field out here. And we didn't get a chance to really research the laps and gas mileage you can get on this track. So unfortunately, we don't really have that answer for the most part. This is the first time we've seen these Cup cars on the track, but we assume they can go all the way to lap 30. If that's the case, then if you're Kurhula, you're likely just going to go try to get to that lap 30 point and just stay out as long as you can and hopefully get to caution. That's probably your best bet.
Here's the problem. I don't like my tires for 30 laps on this track. You're doing a lot of sliding around here, Chris, and what happens when you slide the car around a lot?
You could wreck.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing too, Sean, is when James got black flagged, he just went down pit road. He, I believe it was a stop and go for 15 seconds, so that was almost a pit stop time. And you look how far back he is. That just shows you he started right next to the leader. So if you're not, right now I look at somebody like a Pancari, Devin Sarah, Nick Cohen. If you're about 6-7 seconds back from the leader, you're not staying on the lead lap.
Yeah, no. And I talked about it in the pre-race. I think that's going to be very critical. I think staying on this lead lap, very, very critical. And, Kurhula out there doing a good job of actually keeping the leader away from him. But again, being on this lead lap, I think is going to be critical because of the length of the course and the speed at which they're getting around.
Just saw Pancari high off the track. They're going to lose 2 spots at least. Just pushed it a little wide there in that 37. Did see Scott Eckert say in chat about 57 laps on a tank, Sean. So there's obviously plenty of gas in these cars to go the distance.
Yeah, I just don't know if you're going to like the tires at 57 laps. Again, I just think this is going to be a brutal track on tires. Although the track temperature not extreme, if you're really digging, you're really chasing, you're sliding around a lot, and I really think you're beating these tires up just a bit. Oh, Wilco
something happened with Rick Thomas.
Rick Thompson, yeah. Ooh, Wilco clips him just a bit. They were coming down the straight. And
Lightning McQueen got some damage to his nose.
Yeah. There's the replay right there.
Oh, wow. He just drove it deep.
Yeah, poor Rick Thompson already suffering. The car is suffering. Now the right rear is suffering on it.
You know what the left front said to his right rear? Ka-chow.
Ah.
Hey, Jeff Ward's got damage. Something happened with Jeff Ward up here. He's falling back to 4th, and he's got some left front damage I've noticed here.
Oh, yeah, I think I found it, Chris. Oh, yeah, he has a wild ride coming off of turn 9.
Oh, turn 9 bit somebody else.
Oh, boy. Yeah, well,
we're going to try to get this on replay here.
Lots of damage.
Jeff Ward comes through turn 9 here.
And he just gets out wide, Chris, because he's not able to gather it out once he gets into that grass.
Oh,
gets him right over the tire barrier, and heavy left front damage for Jeff Ward. And he is dropping. Rhett McBride has now reeled him in.
Yeah, so Tommy Ryan's led all 14 laps here in this race. Now, on the strategy, Sean, if you're saying you don't want to go 57 laps on a set of tires, do you split this race into thirds?
I think so. I need to know from my driver how the tires really feel. I want to look at his lap times and see how far we've run off since we got started, but I think that's your window. I think you're looking at a couple of stops to get this done and not just one.
Well, I mean, the other strategy is you go 45 laps, but the thing is you have that random caution that's going to come between lap 30 and 60 that could play a role here. As looks like think Devin Serra had some issues, as now Nick Cohan, Brett Pancari, and Paul Pepper have gone by the 20 car. So I think he had some issues. Don't see any damage. Maybe just went off there for a split second there. Here's your answer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he just pushed it wide right there.
Yeah, he did, and had real trouble slowing the car down. Loses a lot of stuff, or loses, the 3 spots right there. Does a good job, though, of not getting into the wall.
And Nick did no wrong there. He had the angle into the corner, and he made a nice move there on the pass. It was just unfortunate for Devin. Just went off the track there, but nice move by Nick. Got P2 shaping up battle here. Tim Johnston. His 54 car, man. I've been saying it every week, Sean. He's just so quiet and just rides along and gets good finishes.
Yeah. Been that kind of season for him. I talked about Paul. We're on board with Yazek here looking back. Paul Pepper still really having a good run back here. The 29 is up right now, 4 spots. He's gotten past Devin Serra. He's got Pucari in front of him now. He's digging, man. I mean, Nick Cohan not that far up the track in front of them as they come down the straight. But Paul Pepper right now silently having one of the better runs out here in the field.
Yeah, Pepper looking pretty good in that number 29 car. Different paint scheme for him tonight. But Paul running, as you said, back in 9th. Yeah, the Pit Viper car there. Or is that Vipin? That's Pit Viper. Okay, yeah. I could tell that was an R or an N on his front hood.
Well, I maybe think the snake kind of...
Yeah, it might give it away, too. You never. That one slithered past me.
Oh. There we go. It's Chris Scala, folks. 2 shows nightly.
Try the sushi since we're in Japan. Tommy Ryan out to let's see if this is accurate, a 4-second lead over Brian Yazek here. So he's at about half straightaway.
Yeah, 3 seconds.
3 seconds. Right, it just dropped down a little bit there. So time fluctuating here a little bit. But Tim Johnson there in 3rd. Now all of a sudden it drops down to 2 seconds. So who knows? There's a separation there. I thought I heard some grass just now. I thought somebody was in it, but nope. We are going to have some lap traffic coming up ahead here. Tommy Ryan on the back of Randy Yoakum here in the 8 car. You got John Wilco, or Lightning McQueen as we want to call him. So we've got 2 or 3 cars here, and this is not going to be some easy passing here.
No. Well, Tommy got to try and get himself around there and gets off the turn there and able to get by.
Yoakum just moves over for him. Nice move on his part. Classy move.
Classy guy.
19 laps in the books as we get ready for the lap 30 mark. And the reason why we bring lap 30 up is because at that point, anytime we could see a yellow come out for the random yellow. So we'll have to see how that all goes. And apparently, according to viewers here, the 8 actually had a trip in the fertilizer here a few minutes ago. That's why he's so far back. So unfortunate deal for the 8.
Stay out of the fertilizer.
Yes.
Another Tommy Ryan.
Oh, that got close.
That
Tommy
so
Ryan
close.
up front. Now lightning's off.
Yeah, John Wilco trying to stay out of the way. Sometimes you just got to keep driving your line, man. Let the leader just keep racing. That was close.
Yeah, here's the replay. Wow.
It does allow Yazek to close just a little bit, Chris. That slowed Tommy down just enough, and Rick Thompson now just up in front of Tommy. We know that car is a little bit slow as it's got some pretty good damage on it. Hopefully Tommy will catch him here and clear him in a good spot, but they're trying to make their way through the snake now.
And Ryan coming up on the back of Rick Thompson. Yeah, look at this fight for second now is Jeff Ward, or fight for third, I should say. Jeff Ward and Rhett McBride have come up on the back of Tim Johnston here. We got a 3-car battle now shaping up for third.
Tim still, really still got it locked down. But
Tim's
Jeff
done a great job.
Yeah, Jeff back into this thing though, still working with the damage on that car, making it run.
Hey, want to throw a shout out to Thomas George right now in the 11th position back here. And the reason why I throw him a shout out, he said earlier, he is just absolutely struggling around here. And yet here he is just on the outskirts of the top 10. And we told him just keep on the track. And that Pepsi car could end up in the top 10. And so far he's done exactly that.
All right, Yazzik getting around Rick Thompson clean out of turn 9.
Yep, Yazzik P2 right now. He's still got some time back here as we complete lap number 22. Yeah, these tires are probably feeling like jello, these guys now, right?
They're getting close to feeling that way. Rick Thompson gets off out of the way as Jeff Ward and Rhett McBride continue their battle.
This is a good little fight here to Jeff Ward all over Tim Johnson, just hoping for him to make a mistake here. And the way Jeff's momentum has gone here the last few weeks, he was the guy running away with the show at Motegi last week before the incident that took him out with him and Ricky Harden there towards the midpoint of the race. He dominated the Charlotte race, and he's been the guy with momentum, but I think tonight he's just trying to run laps here, and as he gets a little loose off the corner there. Rhett McBride trying to draft that 89.
Yeah, I love this shot on board with Rhett. You really got to get the car slowed down. It's so tricky. You're coming downhill and to the right here. Tough to keep it on track.
You might saw that little period of smoke there. That was Tim Johnson actually locking up the brakes in front of the 89 into turn 2 there. But yeah, that's
easy to do.
The easy way to describe 1 and 2, if you have Lime Rock, that's one track that comes to my mind, Sebring. Those tracks that have that double apex, where pretty much you're turning twice in one corner. That's what pretty much turn 1 and 2 here is Suzuka. As Tim is off the track, Ward goes by, McBride goes by.
Yeah, that was something else I talked about when we were driving around the track together earlier, Chris, is that turn 9, you're at the crest there, and then you get back downhill. That is really, really difficult to navigate, and Tim Johnson just becomes a victim up there and loses some time. Still locking him up just a bit, getting down into turn 1 and out of 2.
Now, the one thing you talked about earlier, we did get out on the track and run some laps, and then we actually tried to work with some teams to see if they'd let us go around the 130, or was it 130, I think it's called, the 130R curve?
130R.
Yeah, with the car, and they wouldn't let us.
Not tonight. Maybe after the race. I see Calvin Filarski coming in the pits. Now, he is several laps down. But Calvin back in the pit. I believe this is his third one.
Yeah, Calvin there in the SKF number 28. He's been in a world of trouble tonight. Running 21st, 13 laps down right now.
Chris, the laps are just ticking away. Here we down 25 laps into this race.
Back here, Paul Pepper. He is the man on the move here. He's gone by Woodrow Mahan for 8th, make that 7th position as Calvin Filarski takes his car behind the wall.
That's another spot for Paul Pepper. Now up 6, and he's got a little ways to go to catch Nick Cohan. Can he do it before what I'm anticipating is a pit window that's getting ready to open, Chris? I think you might see some guys here at about lap 30.
Jeff Ward on pit road.
Okay. Now,
long pit road, 37 miles. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, is Jeff going to try and fix that damage or just take what he can get and then get right back out?
I think you get what you can get now, and then maybe at that caution you come get the damage fixed.
Oh! Mahan with big trouble for Mahan.
Oh, wow, he's piled at turn 1. And I don't see a single ounce of damage on that car.
Yeah, it just gets in hot, locks him up, and watch what happens.
Ooh, that back end came around on him.
He got really lucky there, Chris.
A little bit of wheel hop?
Maybe. I didn't see it, but I certainly think that's possible.
Because you're braking there, third gear, second gear.
Yeah.
I think it's a good shot. There's wheel hop there.
Lucky man.
Not a
Lucky
single
man.
ounce of damage on that car. I want to hit that thing. Stay away from that wall.
Well, so Jeff Ward decides to come in. No one followed him. He did that on his own accord. Let's see if this works out for him. He didn't take much repair. He came right out, had a nice proper pit stop. 14.5 in the box. That is no repair.
Yeah, that's straight up
gonna
four
ride it
tires
out.
and get out there. I think the best move for Jeff, and here's the problem is your track position is as important as that damage, because if you go fix that damage, you're going to restart back in the 20s. And as we're looking, a lot of these positions, I mean, the highest gainer so far in this race, I'm looking, is 13th to 6th by Paul Pepper.
Yep. Paul's still climbing the ladder too. I mean, he's on a mission here.
Yeah, the Sergeant looking pretty good here this evening.
If you're going to show up to the track with a new paint scheme, you better be fast.
Now, we should mention for the James Grahula fans who picked him, Sean, he is still about a half straightaway ahead of Tommy Ryan here and staying on the lead lap.
Yeah, and having, well, you said it, Chris. He just needed to get into his rhythm, and he definitely appears to be in it. James throwing down great laps right there with our leaders. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Now, Jeff Ward, last time by 49.601, the fastest lap of this race. And he is some 6 to 7 tenths faster than Tommy Ryan right now. So Jeff Ward is logging laps pretty much right now. He's got that open, clean space right now.
Yeah, and hey, listen, nothing wrong with fighting just the track and not any cars around you. This road course, as you and I both found out here earlier, very, very challenging, and there really aren't many passing zones in those S's. There aren't any passing zones in those S's. You really only have a couple of good shots at pulling off a really good pass here.
And a battle shape it up. Let's go back here. We got two battles, actually. You see on board with Devin Sarah right now, looking up at Brett Pancari. That is for the 8th and 9th spot. But back here for 10th and 11th now, Josh King and Woodrow Mahan. Woodrow's trying to catch back up after losing all that time going off track. Tim Johnston on pit road. 54 in the Ford Fusion. Right at lap 30 here. So here's when that strategy, you break the race up into threes and you pray for a caution.
Oh boy, we've got another car off. Oh, and it's Derek Paulson.
Yep.
Paulson gets in hot to turn 1, just up in front of him. John Wilco gets off the course, but boy, look at Paulson right here in the 5. And get some of that curve, exactly what we just saw a couple laps ago.
And he's got some right side damage on that 5, so I'm not sure where he got that from, if it was from the inside wall somewhere or what, but I noticed that right side a little beaten up on that 5.
Boy, and Wilco really having trouble getting around this track tonight. Hate to say it, but Rusty's there is he's struggling just a bit.
Hey, if you remember Cars 1, you know who had trouble around road courses, Lightning McQueen, that is. Remember he had the I can't remember the cop's name.
I can't help you,
me,
man.
Oh,
I can't
my
help you. I'm
gosh.
sorry. I hate to admit it, but I've never seen it.
It's been too long since I've watched the Cars movie, but yeah, he had to get out there and help him out. The Hudson Hornet, that's it.
A little bit out of my demographic, buddy.
The Hudson Hornet's out of your demographic.
No, the Cars movie.
Oh, okay.
All right. They weren't trying to hit my demo when they released that one, okay?
I won't give that away. The animation, maybe?
Well, Devin Sarah, Brett Pancari, I know they're teammates, but you know what? They've got a pretty good run going here, and Devin being a little careful there, tiptoeing just a bit behind Brett, but that's a couple teammates working together. I expect they'll probably head in the pits at the same time.
Well, Devin pushing a little wide there. Look out, that was close. I thought he was going to lose the back end there, but yeah, these two just been running nose to tail with each other pretty much all night. And they're the only two cars from this team there.
I think Yazik just made his call. I think Brian Yazik getting ready to pull it down.
So I'm being corrected. Apparently, and I remember it was a dirt circuit, but I thought it was a road course part of it too. But anyways, Hudson Hornet apparently helped the wet dirt. So see what I know about cars movies. The only part I know. Ka-chow. There we go.
Boy, Tommy Ryan really starting to reel in James Krahula. I think it's all going to come down to pit stop here, though, because I do think Ryan will probably duck in before he catches James. I don't know, man. Tommy's still turning in some really good times. You know, the more I think about it, Tommy might actually try and stretch this to the halfway point here.
Here's the interesting situation now. You look at these cars who have just pitted. So you look at Tim Johnston, you look at Brett Pancari on pit road to 37, but these guys are in the middle of this pack now of cars, so they got to be patient and get around these cars. Oh, Jeff Ward around. I just mentioned the trouble with the pack.
Yeah, contact there with the 64, Gerald Livingston. Boy, Jeff just cannot buy a break tonight, can he, Chris?
Yeah, he can. And that's just one of those deals. He had the fresh tires. Gerald did not, and unfortunately, they just come together.
Ward digging now. Now I got to get by Tyler Dalton. Dalton not going to make this easy for him. Dalton still has yet to pit.
And Tyler's not an easy one to pass, but Tyler is going to move over and let the 89 go by. Tyler, a very hard racer. He'll race you as fair as he wants to, pretty much, and will, as long as you race him back with respect, he races you. James Krahula back here. He's trying to get around Gerald Livingston now. So these guys on the fresher tires. Now, Krahula's not on fresh tires. He had the penalty, and basically that hurt him, and he's not on the fresh tires. So he's pretty much, I think if you're James, you just go until the caution comes out. That's I think you have to do that, because or else you're going to go a lap down, and James drives underneath Livingston and makes the pass. As you see, Tommy Ryan, he has got a whole mess up here in front of him.
He sure does, man, and talked about that early, finding this traffic and getting around.
Tommy Ryan going to go by Livingston. And you look right up ahead here. Tommy Ryan has caught Krahula. So this is where this gets interesting now. And we're about 9 laps from halfway, which is lap 45, which will be the bonus points. Nick Cohan, the 21, is on pit road, I believe, here, if I'm seeing this right. He is not on pit road. My telemetry's failing me over here.
Not yet, buddy,
I'm on a roll tonight. People were in the chat are like, who is this goofball? Anyways. Can't name cars, movies.
Teammates finding each other on track. Tommy Ryan trying to get by Ricky Harden. Ricky making it a little interesting for him as they came out of turn 9.
And Tommy's going to go by him. Tommy's got to keep it going because Brian Yazik is right there behind him.
Yazik's been great tonight.
Matter of fact, Yazik's right behind Ricky Harden here, so he is catching the 6.
Yeah,
Ricky lets him go.
There he is. This is a legitimate battle now. First time all night, Ryan been under threat. But he's had to work through a lot of traffic. There's James Krahula right up in front of him. He's now battling with Dalton. Oh, boy.
Well, we might have a battle for the lead here on our hands with Yazik coming up on the back bumper. Tommy Ryan here. Ford versus Chevy as they enter turn 9 here. hitting the wall. And I think something else happened with Thomas George and somebody. We'll have to go see that. But Yazik into the inside wall here in turn 9.
Oh boy, Chris, and man.
Yeah, just hearing that Yazik apparently had a slowdown penalty there. And also, it looks like there was contact between the 20 and the 24 that led to Sarah going around. And don't see any damage on the 20, but a tough break there for the for Devin Sarah, who's now in the 7th position there, right behind Thomas George. So that was the other wreck we saw.
Man. You know, little surprised here. I thought maybe we'd see some pit stops, but boy, Chris, the tires holding up. Tires holding up a little bit better than I thought. You know, really, they've only lost what? Maybe about a second to a second and a half fall off since this race started.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing mostly out of those guys who are on pace still. Is Rhett McBride, who's moved to second. He ran a 50.8 last time by. The fastest lap of the race, a 49.6. Only about a second off so far in these 40 laps.
Don't forget, you know, we still have that random caution to deal with here.
Yeah. As Ryan crosses the line, lap 40 in the books here, so 5 laps from halfway. Here's an interesting, I'm going to throw this out here just in case. What would happen here if the caution is thrown, say, within the next 2 laps? Because then it's, do you pit or do you wait with the bonus points?
Well,
yeah, it's interesting.
What do you do, Chris?
Well, it depends on where you're running. I think if you're up near the top of the points, I'm staying out. But if you're, I think, down, maybe struggling a little bit, maybe outside the top 10, I think, yeah, just go ahead and pit. Because what are you going to lose?
Oh, here comes Ricky Hart. Oh!
Something happened to Yazik. I heard it really.
Boy,
Ricky Hart to pit road.
Yeah, and he doesn't call it out. He just gets on the binders there at turn 9 right in front of Yazik. Yazik not very happy about that. Boy.
Things are getting interesting. These two are a little bit of a war with each other as Yazik is underneath, getting passed by Pankari here. That damage must be affecting Yazik, not to mention I'm sure he's pretty aggravated. And here's the pit lane incident. You're going to see Ricky Harden goes to go right on the pit lane, which is right over here, and then he just jumps on the brakes on Yazik. Something tells me they're going to be riding on an airplane together going back.
Might be a meeting in the red truck there in the infield before they get to leave this track tonight. When they coming in, Chris? Jeez.
I think you're waiting now until after lap 45. You got to wait now.
Yeah, I think you're committed to that strategy, obviously, at this point.
Now, I'm looking at these guys who have pitted. The farthest up right now is Jeff Ward up in 10th right now. And he's some 45 seconds back still. And there's the caution. Whoa. So lap 43, we are going to have an interesting setup here.
Well, I mean, we know now at lap 43, you know, you just one stop's going to get this done if you haven't stopped yet. But like you said, Chris, the pit window.
Pits are going to open at lap 45. So the decision here is, do you pit or do you wait? I think Tommy Ryan, you're staying out. Rhett McBride, Brian Yazik, I think these guys are staying out, I think. Now, if you're Tim Johnston, James Grahula, Tyler Dalton, Brett Pankari, you see who's pitting. you see who's pitting, and if you don't see enough cars pitting, then you jump down pit road at that point and get the track position.
Yeah, I think that's the way you roll, definitely. And
But
the
this-
field is catching up to everybody here.
But if you are somebody like a Brett Pancari or let's see who else came to pit road there. I think Tim Johnson even in the 11th position. Unless somebody pits in the top 10, that strategy of pitting early bites you.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've already seen, Chris, position's not easy to come by here tonight. You get behind too far behind, that might be the end of your race.
And if I see this right, we'll have to see as they come to pit road here. I believe Tyler Dalton is going to get the lucky dog here, so we'll see. As
Tommy Ryan's in, so's Rhett McBride.
Yep. Leader, wow, they're all coming. They're saying forget the bonus points. Everybody's coming to pit road here. Thomas George stays out. Well, with all the leaders pitting here, they're going to come out and they'll be in a track position anyway. So now you wonder if there's going to be tire strategy here or something. Let's see how this works out. Oh, Livingston overshoots his pits.
So far, I'm seeing left sides up, and I'm seeing right sides up here. The leaders up front.
Everybody, 4 tires and fuel. Race off pit road easily. Going to be Tommy Ryan, Rhett McBride, Brian Yazik. So we'll have to see how this is going to go now as the lead shakes up.
Thomas George did stay out, Chris.
Out of all the cars on the lead lap, Thomas George is the only one to stay out. So we're going to, let's get the Coastal Safety Honors lucky dog. And that went to the 19 of Tyler Dalton. So Tyler Dalton gets the Coastal Safety Honors lucky dog, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services, Coastal Safety Honors. So Tyler Dalton gets that. And we're going to get some water, and you should do the same as we come back and watch some more racing here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Very interesting situation here at Suzuka. For the first time ever, the American Pool Supply Pull Award winner and the halfway leader getting bonus points was on pit road. Thomas George comes down pit road and somehow crosses the line as the leader. So he won the American Pool Supply Halfway Award. As we go back to green, Tommy Ryan is your leader. A lot of wave rounds here. Brett Pancari back on the lead lap and others as we're back to racing here down to turn 1.
Oh, wow. Boy, Ryan shot out of a cannon. Rhett McBride hot on the sail. Rhett McBride got to be careful. He's almost sides it out. Yazik going to try and take the position away here, Chris.
Everybody being calm here. Oh, Nick Ohan gets a little loose there. Through the snake area. Rhett McBride is not letting Tommy Ryan get away here, but Ryan has led pretty much every lap but one now.
Not anything done there in Yazik's car. He's still riding with that damage, but he is awful fast. And fighting to hang on to the podium position. Nick Cohan, an early charger here.
Oh, Devin Sarah back bumper. Tim Johnston back here. That's going to allow Krahula to go by. For the 10th position, yeah, Sarah just drove it deep into one and got in the back bumper of Tim.
And Krahula picks up that position for Sarah. James now gets to work on the same strategy with everybody else, Chris. Maybe get a chance to get himself in this thing up maybe in the top 5. He's now up to the top 10.
Yeah, James has been battling back. He's got the speed in that 4 car. Problem is, I don't know if he has the track possession to catch up, but here comes the 29 of Paul Pepper inside of Jeff Ward. Not going to be able to make the move.
Yeah, no, Ward able to get the pass actually on Pepper. Ward up to 5th.
Oh, that was true. Yeah, Ward did pass Pepper. You're right.
Yeah, and a nice exit for Ward there off a 2. Working his way uphill through the S's now.
Now Jeff still hasn't gotten that damage fixed. He's still got that little kink in the left side of his nose. How about Josh King up here in the 8th position at 35 car?
I really hate it when I get a kink in the left side of my nose. It's,
10-4. Like a crick in the neck.
Man, Tim
all
Johnson,
different types of terms tonight, aren't I?
Apparently Thomas George was
George's going to get black flagged here now. No, that's Thomas George is getting black flagged because basically he got black flagged by iRacing and then he had his black flag cleared, and now a couple laps later they're throwing back the black flag.
Well, Tommy Ryan still our leader, still under threat here from Rhett McBride. McBride, the Georgia driver, saving the best part for the second half.
And Rhett looking for a win tonight. He has had his ups and downs all season long, but that too has been clean and looking pretty good here. Everybody pretty much single files. We go down the front straightaway. Don't see really any side-by-side battles. As you look up here on the screen, you're seeing Brian Yazik there in that 3rd position. He's trying to get that HPP Simulations pedal mobile, if you want to call it that, up to the 2nd position there as he battles with Rhett McBride.
And Nick Cohan still a contestant in the party here. Nick's got the Toyota in 4th. He started 11th. It's a good drive for him.
So just looking at chat here, Scott Eckrich, who's the admin, is clarifying the whole Thomas George deal. He had 2 black flags. Eckrich, whoa, trouble, Devin Sarah, I just see spinning. And then Woodrow Mahan's the other car, and caution is out.
Well, it started with Woodrow. And, boy, coming off of turn 9, he catches the grass. Oh, and spins him back up and into traffic. Ouch.
Devin kisses the wall there on the inside. But that's the second caution here. Woodrow taking the car behind the wall, and what a lucky break for Thomas George.
Yeah, and so folks aren't confused here. This is an admin decision to throw the caution flag. This is not your standard iRacing road race where there would be a local caution there. This, again, the admins do have the discretion to, there is a live admin in the room. It is Scott Eckridge, and he has the discretion to make that call on whether or not a caution flag can be thrown. And, well, let's face it, that's a hot zone right there, Chris. Probably not a bad idea to throw the flag.
Yeah, good move there because you saw him ricochet back on the track. Now, going back to the Thomas George penalty, according to Eckridge here, he cleared the wrong black flag. He said he had two when it was all over, so they had to give him a black flag back. Basically, what he did was he pitted when the pits were closed. That was the first one. Now, I'm not sure what the second one is in the end. But either way, he had the black flag penalty, but he's going to stay on the lead lap and get back to the 14th position here. As I'm looking on the screen, should be Gerald Livingston getting the Coastal Safety Honors. Lucky Dog will verify that in a second.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to man up and take your medicine, Chris.
I heard that. It's a little bit of humble pie.
Yeah, you know, penalties. Let's face it, penalties suck.
Yeah, we don't like them. They're like a kink in the nose. We don't like them. Don't ask what that means.
Yeah, I think speaking of chat, I think everybody in chat pretty well agrees that, yeah, probably not a bad idea to get the caution out right there. That was trouble. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, if track's blocked, you get the leaders coming to pit road here. Some leaders coming to pit road. Rhett McBride stays out. Nick Cohan stays out. And Tim Johnson runs over Jeff Ward on pit road.
Can Jeff Ward's luck get any worse? Yeah, okay. So, curious choice here by our leaders. All coming down. You've got Ryan, Yazik, Ward, Johnston, Grahula, Ricky Harden, Tyler Dalton, Brett Punkari, Devin Sarah, Thomas George, John Wilco, Rick Thompson.
I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about this move. We'll have to evaluate this here in a second. But Carnes all getting 4 tires and fuel for the most part, it looks like. Tommy Ryan going to win the race off pit road. And meanwhile, let's go to the 64 of Gerald Livingston. He is our Coastal Safety Honors Lucky Dog Award. Put him out. Your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services with Coastal Safety Auditors. So Gerald's going to come to pit road here. We're going to step away and get our own little pit stop in here, and we'll come back and get to the finish of the race on the Global Sim Racing channel. back at Suzuka as we get ready to wrap up caution number 2, lap number 55. Strategy is the word of the game now. Rhett McBride is your leader. Nick Cohen, Paul Pepper, Josh King is your top 4. Those guys all stayed out. The rest behind them pitted for tires and fuel. Strategy or tires? What is going to be the winner of this race? We're about to find out. Pace cars in. Rhett McBride on the pedal. Here we go.
Yeah, McBride checks out quick. Cohen gets a good jump. And a battle here. Josh King, Paul Pepper down into turn 1.
Cohen protecting that bottom. Pepper going to drive it in here on King. Let's see. They're going side by side in the corner. Somebody locked the brakes up front. Got to be patient now. King, oh, him and Pepper almost touched. Yikes. Watching Tim Johnson, Krahula off a little bit. Puts 2 off.
Yeah. Boy, Krahula trying so hard to give room. Tim Johnson. Tim Johnson's got it on the limit there. Here comes Ricky Harden to the inside, trying to take advantage of that. He gets side by side with Krahula.
Tim's apologized on the radio. I don't know if he needs to apologize for that. That was just racing. Just tough racing in a tight spot.
Both do a good job of hanging on to their cars. All right, we get that first lap here and the restart in, Chris. Looks like we start to settle in just a bit.
And that's the thing here. You think the fitness is going to pick up a little bit here as we have less than 45 to go here. And the passing here has been tough. Unless somebody makes a mistake, it's really been hard to do.
Tommy Ryan.
Fresh tires.
Tommy Ryan really setting up Josh King, trying to battle him now. Tommy trying to cross over here.
Nice crossover there. Over-under move.
Ooh, bringing Yazik with him. Here's Yazik.
mph down to turn 1 here. Yazik going to pass King. Let's see if Ward comes with him. He does not. How about Krahula though underneath Johnston?
You've got Ryan up here trying to get around Paul Pepper. Pepper having none of it. He is playing really good defense right now. Obviously not the spot on the track that you're trying to pull off a pass, but Ryan looking on both sides, left and right. Going to try and get him off of turn 9 here.
Meanwhile, Rhett McBride and Tommy Ryan, Nick Cohen are doing their best Monty Python the Holy Grail. Run away! Look at Paul with the block here, kind of protecting that inside. Tommy going to try to power move that outside contact.
Oh, there's Yazik.
Go ahead, Ron clears him. You see anything wrong with that move Paul made, Sean?
No, I don't. Racing hard. I don't think Yazik had a problem with it either.
Meanwhile, Johnston and Krahula are still playing side by side here.
Yeah.
Krahula, one car spinning, Thomas George. Wow, he saved it. Oh, pulsing him out, ran him over.
Really
Thomas
close.
went four-wheel drifting here.
Yeah.
Oh, look who got together with him. Oh, boy. Tyler Dalton and Thomas George hitting each other again. Nothing said though over the speakers between the two here, so not sure if that's just a racing move or what. In case you weren't at Motegi last week, there was a little bit of stuff between them two.
Nah, just a little bit.
just a wee bit. So Tommy Ryan is up the third. Last time by, Nick Cohen was fastest actually on the track here. Matter of fact, Rhett McBride dropping a 49.962 there, but not the fastest Tommy Ryan at 9.35.
How about these two guys up front who didn't take tires? Rhett McBride, Nick Cohen, Chris. They've staked themselves to about a 2.5 second lead on the rest of the field right now. Looking pretty smooth.
Track position looking king right now as Jeff Ward looks underneath Josh King. Speaking of King, James Carula got a beaten up nose now.
Apparently he was laying the wood to somebody.
Oh boy. Little chrome horn?
Maybe. James, he's excited. He wants to get around. Let me in.
Hey, you know what James is going to be happy with is going next week. Back to Daytona, and you know the winner was last summer in Daytona was that guy right there, James Carula. A caution-free race, oh, by the way.
I really hope we don't get another caution. There's some really good battles going on track. Yazik, tell you what, Paul Pepper back there. Yazik getting by. Hold on to fourth. Paul Pepper, though, still looks to have a lot of fight left in that car.
Yeah, Pepper right there behind his teammate Yazik. There's two loud pedal guys there. Pepper looking to strike his next victim there. I don't think he literally means hit him, though. Last time by, Tommy Ryan 50.1 to a 50.4 from Rhett, so Tommy is slowly bringing him in.
Yeah, a little bit at a time. In fact, that last lap, Tommy was the fastest one around.
Hey, well, here's a question. Do you see any cars out there other than Rhett McBride's that doesn't have damage?
Boy, there aren't a lot of them left, are there? Yeah, it's been a tough night. Now our leader, Rhett McBride, I'll be honest with you, Chris, I don't see any damage on that car.
He might be the only one. I'm actually looking at all the cars right now. Josh King's car looks pretty clean.
McBride up front having a little bit of a slide there. Cohan reeling him in here.
Carula driving underneath Josh King here. Oh, I can say it on a road course. No silk for you.
Yeah, Josh keeps closing the door on him. Oh, boy, Thompson back there almost gets into Ricky Harden. Thompson's back there digging really hard, too.
I didn't think I'd ever get to say that term on a road course, Sean.
Yeah, these positions so important. Look at the run. Harden's getting on Carula, then he's got to get out of it. Everything, all this action down in turn 9.
Ooh, Timmy getting a little loose there back there in the 54. Hey, well, it's been some exciting racing for a race that, we thought wouldn't see much passing. These guys know how to put on a show. Let's just leave it at that.
Yes, they do, Chris, and they're putting on an awful good one here at Suzuka tonight on the East Circuit here. 1.39 miles, only 7 turns. They say 7. It's really kind of 9,
It's like 9. Yeah, it's right here, double apex in the... Well, you're looking on the screen going through the curbs here, but the leaders are going through this 8 and 9 section, I call it. We have to petition these guys next year about 130R. We need to have a race on that part. We just worry about these cars going through that chicane.
Oh, yeah, that's would not be any fun.
Tommy Ryan still the fastest car on the track. He's now under 2 seconds back from the leaders. But Soup, as he likes to say it, Sean, it's like milking a rooster, my friend. Catching him's one thing, passing him's another. Oh,
yeah, sorry, Josh King. James Carula going out. King makes a mistake. Yeah, and Carula is right at his door.
Tommy Ryan, I keep saying Tommy Ryan. Ricky Harden looking at pounce.
Just reverse the colors, Chris. Reverse the colors.
I got it. Poetry in motion. Oh, contact! King's off.
And
oh! Wow! Oh, and Josh King's off the track. in the outside wall. But here's the replay. Wow, he chops the nose of Sarah. And then watch here down the straightaway.
Yeah, I don't know. Something didn't look right there for Josh King, Chris.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that car mysteriously starts to drift off track. Devin Sarah wasn't very happy with him for him getting back on in front of him. That car goes wall in, and then he goes to the pit. And I believe that's where he's still sitting now, isn't it?
He drifted off, Sean? So is it an Oculus drift?
Maybe, Chris. Maybe. Boy, did
But
no, I was just going to say, did Rhett McBride and Nick Cohan have a little bit of information? Did they know this would be a good strategy, or did they just flat out gamble? It's right now paying off for them, buddy. They got still 22 laps to get this race done as we go across the line.
well, Rhett McBride is shown the speed in that 2 car, and Cohan has 2. Tommy Ryan's just showing him why he was the fastest car in this race, why he's the pole sitter. He's showing it right here. I think fresh tires are not. Now that time by Rhett McBride was the fastest car, so he might be actually saving his tires a little bit. Meanwhile, back here, this battle continues on with Krahula, who's now cleared, and you now have Tim Johnston and Ricky Harden here. This is now the 8th position. Battle for second.
Ryan Cohan
to Tommy Ryan. Uh-oh. Does Tommy Ryan have the tools to get back to the front? Oh, Cohan went off there in turn 9. That's going to kill your momentum.
Yeah. And just an update on Josh King. I think he had an internet problem, Chris. Yeah, he's dropped out of the server for a bad connection. I'm wondering if that was maybe the start of it, and he,
there was contact in the corner.
Well,
so I don't,
yeah.
That's just, I don't know if well, I guess it could happen. That's just an interesting spot, we'll just say.
Wow. Rhett McBride, that time there. Fastest lap around.
I think Rhett was kind of holding some in the tank. Jeff Ward looking underneath of Paul Pepper, not able to make the move there. That's back for 5th. Couple LPM guys.
I think Tommy Ryan is close to being on his way to the party. Tommy in second, but gaining maybe just a little bit. Slight gains.
Let's go back to 12th. We have an interesting battle on our hands, and, well, let's just say it's Dalton and George.
Gerald Livingston with a really good seat for that match.
I don't know if he wants to be there, but now I don't want to be a guy in instigate something.
Contact.
There it is.
Contact. Oh my, Chris, you called it. Wow.
I didn't want to be the guy to instigate anything. Just calling it as I see it. Oh boy. Now I'm not a road course professional here, but I think that's one of those things where, yes, Dalton left the room and George filled it, but I think George could have waited a little bit. Am I wrong, Sean?
If I'm Tyler Dalton, I don't let him get inside me.
Which, yes.
Getting into the turn. I stay in front of him. You let him get up next to you there, and George, the car wants to run out, track out to the left like that. Dalton happens to be the guy on the outside. So, tough deal, man. Tough deal.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow.
Yeah.
I kind of want to be a fly on the wall for that conversation if it happens.
Hey, Jeff Ward now starting to really try and set this move up on Paul Pepper. Let's not miss this because Ward is on the attack indeed.
If anybody watched the NASCAR race Sunday at Michigan, did you notice a Sasquatch sighting? Anyone notice that beside me? Anyways, Sasquatch is trying to pass Paul Pepper now for position.
Look at the run. Boy, Ward got a heck of a run off of turn 9.
Hey, Pepper with the, not really a block, more of a protecting of the left lower lane. I think he's going to let his teammate go, though. Yep, exactly. Let Jeff Ward go.
Ward with about 4.5 seconds to catch Brian Yazik ahead of him. Only about 16 and a half laps to go.
But let's look up front, Sean. Look up front. Here comes Tommy. That's down to a half second right now between the two.
Boy, Wilco gets way out of the way.
Oh, Wilco's way out there. Look out.
Yeah, he didn't want any part of that. He did not want any part of that. Tommy Ryan's here, though. He is present. Hand is way up in the air. Remember me?
Yeah, Tommy's been the guy to beat tonight. He has dominated, led the first half of the race, and then a caution with about 40 to go, went to pit road and got tires, and it's taken him all of this time to get back up here 25 laps later.
I'd say a podium finish for Rhett McBride at this point would be a big win on that decision he made to stay out. He's really made it work. So is Cohan, for that matter. You know, can't discount what he's done.
Yeah, Rhett McBride, if he finished the second in his race, he didn't lose anything because that's where he was running when that caution came out.
I mean, Cohan's still got a good 4 seconds on Brian Yazik.
$15 laps to go. Tommy Ryan, 2 tenths faster that time than Rhett McBride. It's down to 3 tenths. Nick Cohan, about a second and a half back, all the way to Brian Yazik, who's 5 seconds back. They are coming up on lap traffic here. Rick Thompson about a corner ahead in that 76 car, the very damaged American Pool Supply car.
I don't think he's even going to be a factor.
Yeah, he'll probably get out of the way here, but Tommy Ryan is there. Catching him's one thing, passing him's another, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Like milk and rooster, you know?
Yeah. Tommy's been awful good tonight. Has to get on the binders there pretty good. He was coming in hot.
The left, right, Rhett using a lot more curve than Tommy is, trying to get that corner. That base of those curves can help you turn or it can throw you out of the track, which is never a good thing either. Oh, Reagan loose!
Yes, sir. Sliding
That's
around. Here comes
Tommy. Oh, Tommy let him back in line. Turn 9. Rhett pushes wide. Tommy's going to get a run here. Here he comes. Oh, grabs it!
Ryan loses it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Tommy, oh, look out, Yazik. Tommy Ryan.
Wow.
Oh, my. For the second straight week, the dominant car is wrecked out.
Boy, I feel horrible for Tommy there.
Oh, my.
Just digging, man. Fighting.
Yeah, he did. It was one of those deals where he checked up because Rhett got loose, and I think he punched it, and it just came around on him. Oh, and now Tommy's off the track again here. I think he's going to pull it behind. No, maybe not. I think he's just getting out of everybody's way in the S's here is what he's doing.
Yeah. Car's junk, to be honest with you. Now, listen, this is not over for Rhett McBride. He's still got pressure. Nick Cohan has now found himself to him, and Rhett's got to get around traffic here. Now getting by Rick Thompson as he goes into 1. And just up in front of him there is, the 8, Randy Yoakum.
Yeah, Randy Yoakum here. Yeah, but Yoakum's in pretty clean. He's going to get out of the way.
Yeah, but he got down in the grass to do it. I was so worried about that car slipping back on track. Oh,
Last
Cohan
week,
really put the pressure on.
Last week, Twin Ring Motegi, Sean, you saw Jeff Ward dominate the race, led every lap. And then a situation with him and Ricky Harden put Ward in the wall and took his race out. And tonight, it's Tommy Ryan who dominates the race. And then, bam, sometimes the fastest car does not win.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard Brutus in the background there. He's begging to get on track. I don't think he's going to get that opportunity. Tommy Ryan smoking his way down the pit lane. The barbecue is lit. I don't know. We might have a chance to smoke a little chicken before this race is over.
I like me some chicken.
At least I got chicken.
Very nice.
Sorry, I couldn't read this. Somebody will get that out there.
Some Clyde Torkel?
No, that was not a Clyde Torkel.
I know, but I'm saying, can we get some Clyde Torkel, though, and barbecue? That's all I'm saying.
Fastest chicken in the South. Sponsor made us say it. Oh, boy. Cohan he's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, he does.
Rhett McBride has been just solid since the restart of this race. And you're going to have to take it from him.
Now, we've hit the 10 to go mark, and for those who don't know, there's actually a rule. Once we get to 10 to go, there are no more cautions. So we are now at the point where this race is on from here. So it looks like a two-man race right now, unless Yazik can get up there. He's got about 4 seconds to go. But I'm watching James Krahula here in the 6th position. I've been watching him just kind of work his way back through the field after his issues earlier. Krahula going to bounce back and get a good finish if he can keep it on track.
Boy, if Yazik wasn't dealing with that just a little bit of damage on that car that he'd gotten earlier, I wonder if maybe he'd have a little bit more pace. It's just, boy, they're just a little too far up the track for him to catch him. He's got Randy Yoakum still to get through, and then after Randy, which he's clearing Randy now, and he's got Rick Thompson up there. He'll have to get around it. Geez, that just seems like a really, really big gap to cover. 6 seconds there, Chris.
Yeah, but look at Nick Cohan. He has caught the back bumper of Rhett, so this battle is on for the lead now. I wonder if Rhett's tires have just fallen off now. These guys, these two here have gone 38 laps on their set of tires.
Yeah, and again, they've made the rest of the field pay for it too. I mean, they broke off to a great start, and they've managed to just kind of run away from everybody, keep them behind.
They come across the line, 8 laps to go. Just looking through my numbers here, Sean, I do not think Rhett McBride has won a cup race.
Yeah, man, that's like the guy throwing a no-hitter, though. You really want to talk about the no-hitter when the no-hitter's happening?
You don't want to say that word. Are you kidding me?
Leave Rhett alone, man. He's got plenty to deal with here. Nick Cohan is really going to try and take this away from him.
Sean, we got to be honest here. We're broadcasters. We have to speak facts. That's what we're paid to do, is provide facts.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, Rhett, he's under a lot of pressure. Nick is, again, I've said it several times, I think Nick is going to make this very, very difficult for him to wrap up a win. We now have 7 laps to go.
That time by fastest car on the track, Brian Yazik.
Yeah, Nick really, really abusing the curbs right now, getting a better run through them.
He's there.
Yeah.
The question is will Cohan put the bumper to him? Will the chrome horn come out of Japan?
Don't mess with the Gohan. I don't know. I think Nick will move him if he has to.
6 laps to go. Coming up on lap car, this is Tyler Dalton in the 13th position. Tyler, last car in the lead lap, he was involved in that incident with Thomas George. Battle for 5th. Krahula underneath Pepper is one car slid wide there. I think it's Randy Oakham, but Krahula with the pass on Pepper.
Boy, Krahula desperately trying to hang on here.
Well, we got a dogfight up here for 7th, right behind these guys here. Look at Ricky
We
Hart,
really
Tim
do.
Johnston. You got Brett Pancari here too.
Ricky Harden been all up and down this field tonight, having a good run. There's Tim Johnston. There's Ricky in the 15. Tim trying to track him down here. Ricky got Paul Pepper up in front of him.
Next week, again, we go back to America and to Daytona International Speedway for the Summer Classic. 250 miles, and I can't wait to get back there. Restrictor plate racing. We've had, one guy dominate, and he's on your screen right there. Talladega and Daytona 300 winner Ricky Horton looking to go 3 for 3 on the plates.
Cohan out of 9. Oh,
he's got the run.
Yeah.
He got the grass there, too. I think that hurt him. Rhett McBride blocking, or not really blocking, more protecting his lane. It's not really a block when you're doing that kind of move. Ooh, locks it up a little bit. They both did get by Tyler Dalton, so Dalton let the leaders go by. Smart move there. Classy move, too. Cohan trying the high side here. He's trying every which way to go by him, riding the curve a little bit. That actually hurt him. If he's going to make the pass, it's going to have to be right here, Sean.
Nick just trying to squeeze it in there any way he can. Rhett McBride just giving him nothing.
3 laps to go. Now the start-finish line is up towards turn 9. It's actually not on the straightaway here. It's back at the edge of turn 9, so it's a very short path off that corner. And Nick to the bottom here. Rhett's going to get him here because of that left-hander.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Cohen with a good run there.
I just don't even want to speak at this point.
I just want to watch. This is great. Cohen over under move. No, he shuts the door on him. Oh, there's the bumper. To the start finish line is actually right there.
Maybe we get somebody else to get in the booth and just let us watch the end of this.
Where's Soup at? Where's Soup? Man! Go ahead, crossover. Cohen's going to find a way to get to the high side of it. I mean the left side somehow. If he can do that, especially at turn 9, he could make the move to win this race.
Yeah, and Nick is just a little bit better through these S's, but there's just nowhere to get around.
Yeah, and I think Rhett's getting him off turn 9, which is where you need to be fastest. Shuts the door on him again. Oh, he is all over him as they're coming to the white flag. 1 to go at Suzuka. Cohen crosses over. Whoa. Cohen locked it up a little bit there. You can see the back end getting wobbly.
McBride still smooth as the other side of the pillow, buddy.
Oh, Rhett slides it wide. Yes, there. They're both making mistakes. This is great. Cohen puts the bumper to him.
Trying to move him a little bit. Rhett not going to have any of it.
Another bumper. Here to go. Final corner. Cohen dives underneath. Contact. Into the grass goes McBride. Into victory lane goes Nick Cohen.
Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that. Gonna battle behind him.
Yazik going to get third. Back here for sixth. Pepper going to hold off Rhett McBride, or Ricky Hartnett is. Tim Johnston Pancari. Nick Cohan going to victory lane here in the Suzuka Thunder 200. Wow, what some drama that is.
A little bit of drama, indeed.
Here's a replay on the move here. McBride did no wrong, I don't think.
No, that's just good hard racing right there. I mean, he knew Cohan was going to make that move to the inside.
Yeah, he did what he had to do, move him out of the way. Now, you feel bad for Rhett.
Feel bad for him, but you don't feel bad for the... Rhett's going to get some great points out of this tonight. That was an awesome run. Cohan, an awesome run for him too, man. I mean, he qualified 11th, comes up and wins this thing.
Nick Cohan, winner tonight in the Patriot Fire Cup Series here at Suzuka. We'll talk to him in the top three finishers. Should be a pretty entertaining podium when we talk to him next on the Global Sim Racing channel. back at Suzuka, where the entertainment was definitely there at the end. We talked about it all throughout the race, and a track that was tough to pass on, Sean, and all of a sudden we got a last lap pass with Nick Cohan getting by Rhett McBride, and well, he had to use the bumper a little bit, but you know what, that's racing, and listen to what Rhett McBride on the speaker pretty much saying to Nick, hey, I would have done the same thing, good racing. So that's really cool to see the sportsmanship here, but let's take a look at the finishing order tonight here in the Suzuka Thunder 200. Nick Cohan wins it. Rhett McBride finishing second. Brian Yazik going to get third. Jeff Ward fourth. James Krahula comes back to get a top five. That might be the first top five pick for Sean Ambrose this year. Congratulations, Sean. Paul Pepper finishing sixth. Ricky Harden seventh. Tim Johnston, Brett Bunkari, and Devin Sarah, your top 10.
All right, I'll take the rest of the field here real quick. Gerald Livingston, 11th. Thomas George, 12th. Tyler Dalton, 13th. Derek Paulson, 14th. John Wilco, well, he did struggle just a bit tonight, but he does finish 15th place. Brady Yoakum, 16th. Rick Thompson, 17th. 18th going to go to Tommy Ryan. Boy, that's a tough way to lose for him. Joshua King, 19th. 20th going to go to Woodrow Mahan. He had a hard shot. Calvin Filarski, 21st. 22nd going to go to Jonathan Lawrence. And Stephen Herring never actually took the grid, guys.
So there you go. So 22 cars in the end taking the grid, and in the finish is all over with. And, well, we get to go to victory lane here and talk to Nick Cohan. Nick, we got to ask the obvious question here, my friend. That last lap pass, how long were you trying to plan that one out?
Oh, my God. I'll be honest with you, I really wasn't, because I never thought I'd be in that situation. Once I screwed up that last corner and Tommy got by me, I was like, well, top three won't be bad. This is like the best finish I've ever had at a road course. And then when he went off the track, it seemed like Rhett's tires started to slowly wear out, and he came back to me, and you know, he'd have a squirrely lap. I'd get right on his bumper, and then I would have a squirrely lap. And yeah, I've been friends with Rhett for a long time in here. We were teammates, and I would always race him clean, but he totally understands, man. It was just hard racing. I definitely didn't want to wreck him, but I knew we were going to have some sort of bumping and banging there on the last lap. That was unbelievable.
Looked like turn one that last lap, you had a little interesting ride there. Looked like the back end tried to swap. I thought at that point maybe it was like, oh.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny because I was complaining about this track all week, saying we shouldn't run here, it's stupid. And I still think it's stupid. But I was screwing around in practice, just drifting through turn one. And it ended up working out for me because I ended up drifting through turn one about 5 of the last 10 laps there. So it was pretty interesting. You come in that corner really fast, and it just when you downshift a third, the rear end just gets so light, and it's hard to hang on to. But man, is it fun!
Got to go back to that caution about a little after halfway there. You and Rhett and I think it was Paul Pepper was the other car, decide to stay out in the end. What was the call behind that? The thinking, and look, obviously it worked.
Well, the thinking was actually my dad yelling at me all week. My dad watches this religiously every week, and he was so mad at me for not staying out at Twin Ring last week. And so I knew if I pit right there, he was going to be pissed off again. So I figured I'll stay out. And I honestly thought tires would mean a little bit more, but I figured, what the heck, we'll see what happens. And it turned out to be a good call, so I got to thank my dad.
Hey, sometimes dads are the best ones to listen to when it's all over with. Well, nice job, Nick. Congratulations on your win. And we will talk next week in Daytona.
Thanks. Just got to give a shout out to Rhett again for a fun race there. Thanks to all my teammates, Loud Pedal, and Toyota, CJ Automotive, and we'll see you guys at Daytona. Absolutely.
Nick Cohan in victory lane again tonight. Sean, is I know there's got to be a little bit of hurt for Rhett, and obviously he's probably feeling bad he didn't win the race, but the man has great spirits, and I'm sure this will be an interesting interview.
Yeah, Rhett, hey, listen, congratulations. Loved your strategy there to stay out, not take those tires. It worked out until the last lap. Walk us through that. What kind of pressure were you feeling there?
Well, the last lap, I knew Nick was his tires were probably a lot better than mine at that point, because he was able to kind of lay back in when I was racing Tommy and save his stuff. And I was just trying to block it. I was just keep him on the outside of every turn, just because the car was gone. The tires were pretty much syrup at that point, but I knew that the last turn was going to be tough to hold him off, and it was just jelly trying to get through there, and the front end just took off, and he slipped around us there on the last turn. But I had a blast. I mean, that was so much fun, those last 10 laps or so. I hated that Tommy, I don't know if he was checking up when I was trying to put the power down and was reacting to me, chasing the car a little bit and got loose and hit the wall. Tommy had a great car. He was fast. He was probably the car to beat for sure. And he had good tires. I hate that happened to him. But, there at the end, that was a lot of fun racing with Nick. He and I always we race hard together, but it's clean. We used to be teammates, and I got a lot of respect for Nick, and that was just a blast to be able to race with him for the win. Like, that was fun. Hope I'm on the other end of it next time.
I hope so too. I know you're still trying to scratch out your first win here. Tell you what, for a guy who just almost won this race, winds up with second, you sound pretty excited. I'm very happy for you. What a great attitude.
Yeah, well, there's not much you can do. I mean, I kind of, the strategy I needed, I needed that race to end about 2 laps before it did, and it would have been worked out good. Yeah. But that's okay. I mean, we had a good run, and I had fun, and that's what it's all about anyway. I mean, that was just so much fun. I mean, there was no loser tonight. I mean, that sounds corny, but that's the truth. Yeah. You can't get mad at something like that.
How long will it take you to go to bed at this point tonight?
I don't know. I'll probably smoke half a pack of cigarettes when I get done with this, and so I don't know. Yeah, I'll be up for a little bit, trying to decompress a little bit. But that was a blast, man. That's what it's all about. It had to been fun to watch.
Well, sir, we will see you in Daytona next. Congratulations on a podium finish tonight, buddy.
Yep. Thanks, Sean. Take care.
All right, and that was Rhett McBride, and a great run for him tonight. Man, that was entertainment. Speaking of entertainment, Chris, put it out. Brian Yazik is in the house.
Yes, Yazik joining us. And Brian, I got to ask the obvious question here. Were you having Groundhog Day playing in your head all over again because you had the dominant car wreck and you're sitting in third as 2 cars battle neck and neck for the win? Were you like, man, I could go from third to first and win again?
It crossed my mind. Yeah, that happened. But, no, it's, good God. Good thing we're leaving this, I think we're leaving this driving seat over here in Japan. We're not going to ship it back. They charge us twice as much for biometric or a biohazard, because when Tommy came back across the track, I didn't lift, and I saw him getting closer, and, I pooed myself, when that happened. And then I let off the gas because I thought the caution was going to come out. And then I'm like, wait, no caution. And I lost 3 seconds or whatever to Rhett and Nick. But, yeah, I thought it could happen again if those guys started bumping and banging. But we ran them down, I think it was 6 seconds after I got to third. And then I ran them down to like 4 there at the end. But I don't know. Whatever.
Some great racing out there. Obviously, the curves made it hard. It's going through from that turn 3 to pretty much turn 9 section. Just talk about the mistakes it seemed so easy to make, and you could pounce on them.
Yeah, I got to flip my fan off there. Sorry, I'm just screaming at me. Yeah, I mean, I kind of defined this, and I said this. I think I said this to Sean during his woodshed video. It's basically you had a highway on the front stretch and you had an old country road on the back stretch. It was just so fun to see how that all played out. And it's so stupid easy to overdrive the S curves, but lucky for me and this HPP simulation Ford, we didn't make too many mistakes on the backside. Turn 9, that final one coming off the front stretch, that was the death of me. Out of 90 laps, I probably got it right, probably about 10, and I think 5 of those were under caution. So that was really my undoing there.
Well, it's still a good run for you as the point leader tonight. The guy second in points had a couple of issues with pit road and obviously some contact with another car. Finishes way back in 12th, so looks like you'll spread that point lead out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, with the way that the season-long championship goes and these segment championships, these big point leads really, really come into play, because I know coming up here, I'm going to miss one of these races, and I can't. It's going to be the 19th. I'm going to be coming back from being in Eldora for the truck race, so I know I got to build up a little bit of a tolerance and a little bit of a lead. I know that I think my worst finish this segment was Daytona. So if we count, that into play, I'll still be sitting all right. But still a long season to go. Still would really love to knock off a couple more wins, especially for Loud Pedal Motorsports and HPP Simulation. Put ourselves in victory lane a couple more times. So we'll see as the season goes on. But tell you what, we're having fun, man. This is great.
That's all that matters. Well, Brian, we'll congratulate you on your third, and make sure you wait for Sean and I on the plane, and we'll see you on the plane headed to Daytona.
Yeah, 10-4. Like I said, let me get to the hauler and shower first. You don't want to be sitting next to me.
Yeah, no, I'm going to pass on that. I want the seat away from him.
I think Amjad's got your seat. Anyways, all right, so we move on there, but nice job, Brian.
Hey, thank you.
Absolutely. Brian Yazik finishing third this evening, Sean, as we put a wrap up on our international tour. We head to Daytona next week, but man, we talked about how tough it was to pass out there tonight, and lo and behold, it comes to a last lap pass to win this race.
Yeah, it does come down to a last lap pass off of that turn 9, where honestly, we saw a lot of trouble off that turn 9 this evening, and funny how it all come down to turn 9 that actually decides the race in the end.
What a race it was. Congratulations to Nick Cohan and everybody for the Patriot Fire Cup Series for a great race and a great 3-race series over in Italy and Japan. Some great racing going on. Also, a special thanks to Premier Racing League and for Patriot Fire Cup Series. They put this whole series together, and also thanks to the software and hardware that we use for our broadcast that you can see listed on your screen.
Yes, sir. And Chris, always a pleasure to work with you, but also thanks to our musical contributors, Eric Eckel and Casey Lalonde, whose music you can find at the websites listed for more information about future races. You can see the list on the screen, or you can go to globalsimracingchannel.com, where you can check out our past broadcasts and check in on our current schedule of events. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel. And yeah, get into Facebook there and just type in Global Sim Racing Channel. We'll pop right up.
As I mentioned, next time we'll be on the air at the Premier Racing League Patriot Fire Cup Series. Will be Thursday, round 19 of the Patriot Fire Cup Series at Daytona International Speedway. That is going to be a fun one under the lights. Drafting, and can Ricky Harden make it 3 for 3 on a restrictor plate track this season? We will have to see, unless you count Monza's Oval as a restrictor plate. If not, then he's 2 for 2 right now. But either way, we hope you can see us, come join us, we should say, at the Daytona International Speedway. Congrats to our winner, Nick Cohan, for Dougie Beer. I'm Jed Yaman, Sean Ambrose, I'm for Scala. Race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.